A neuroscientist ran an experiment where subjects were asked to name their most deeply held personal belief, then traced exactly where that belief entered their brain. For 73% of them, the origin point wasn't a life experience, a book, or a conversation. It was a screen.
Welcome back to part 4. If you've been here since the beginning, you already know we've been pulling back the curtain layer by layer. We started with loneliness. Then we watched it sell us things. Then we saw how it built invisible walls around us. And now we've arrived at the deepest level, the one that changes everything.
Because this time, we're not talking about what the algorithm did to your emotions, or your wallet, or your social circle. We're talking about what it did to your mind. Here's a question that should bother you. When was the last time you had a genuinely original thought? Not a reaction to something you watched. Not an opinion that formed after scrolling. Not an idea that surfaced right after a recommendation pulled you somewhere unexpected. Think hard. Because the honest answer for most of us is more complicated than we'd like to admit. The human brain has always been shaped by its environment. That's nothing new. What is new is that the environment shaping your brain is now actively optimized to do exactly that. Every algorithm running behind your screen has one job: predict and then influence what you engage with next. And the longer it runs, the better it gets. It's not guessing anymore. It's modeling you. Researchers studying recommendation systems have found something deeply uncomfortable. People who consume high volumes of algorithmically curated content begin to exhibit what's called epistemic narrowing. This is the gradual reduction in the variety of ideas a person considers valid or worth thinking about. Your mental menu shrinks. And the wild part is, it feels like expansion. It feels like you're learning more, seeing more, understanding more. But you're actually moving deeper and deeper into a tunnel that was built specifically for you. Let's talk about what this looks like in real life. You start the morning with a video about a topic you're interested in. The next one is similar. Then another. By the third day, your entire information landscape has reorganized itself around that interest. You're not just consuming content about it. You're starting to think in the language of that content. The phrases, the frameworks, the conclusions, they become your phrases, your frameworks, your conclusions. Except they were never yours to begin with. This is the part where it gets genuinely eerie. Psychologists studying motivated reasoning have long known that humans are notoriously bad at identifying when they've been influenced. We experience our beliefs as self-generated. We feel like we reasoned our way to our conclusions. The algorithm didn't just exploit that blind spot, it built a mansion in it. And here's the tension I want you to sit with.
You cannot fact-check your own thinking if you don't know which facts you were never shown. You can't question assumptions you don't know you're making.
That's not stupidity. That's just how cognition works. We think with the material we have. And someone else is now curating that material with extraordinary precision. Let me give you the framework that makes this click. There's a concept called the availability heuristic, the mental shortcut where we judge how likely or important something is based on how easily examples come to mind. What the algorithm has done is take control of what comes to mind easily. It floods certain channels of your thinking and starves others. So when you reach for an idea, reach for an opinion, reach for a solution to a problem, the options that feel obvious are the options that were made obvious for you. Think about an opinion you hold strongly. Now ask yourself, when did you first encounter evidence for the other side? Not a straw man, not a quick dismissal. When did you genuinely sit with a compelling argument you disagreed with? If you're struggling to answer that, you're not alone. And that gap, that absence of genuine friction in your thinking, is where the algorithm lives. Now, I want to be precise here because this isn't a conspiracy. Nobody sat in a room and decided to hollow out your intellectual independence. This is what optimization looks like at scale. The system learned that friction reduces engagement. That discomfort makes people scroll away. So it removed friction. It removed discomfort. And in doing so, it removed something essential to how healthy human thinking actually works. Here's the payoff for everything we've covered in this series. Loneliness made you vulnerable. Purchasing patterns made you trackable. Social sorting made you isolated. And now, cognitive narrowing has made you, in a very specific and measurable sense, easier to predict. The endpoint of all 4 stages is a person who feels completely free. Free to think whatever they want, believe whatever resonates, follow whatever feels true, while actually operating inside a system that anticipated every single one of those choices. So what do you do with that? Because I'm not going to leave you in the dark. The first thing is the hardest. You have to deliberately seek out thinking that makes you uncomfortable. Not just disagreement for the sake of it, but genuine alternative frameworks that challenge how you're organizing reality. The second thing is to create intervals of complete disconnection. Not because screens are evil, but because your brain needs space to generate thoughts that weren't prompted by something external. Real thinking requires silence. Third, notice when your opinions arrived. And if you can trace a belief directly back to a content binge, hold it more loosely. Your mind is still yours. But it needs you to protect it with intention now, in a way that previous generations never had to think about. The algorithm didn't make you stupid. It made you legible. And the moment you understand that distinction, you've taken back something real. That's where we are at the end of part 4. And I promise you, what comes next in this series will bring everything full circle in a way you're not expecting. Stay close.